Every single week, somebody moves to Orlando and makes a mistake that costs them thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. And the frustrating part is that almost every one of these mistakes is completely avoidable if somebody just tells you the truth before you sign anything. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm a local Orlando real estate agent. I help people relocate here all the time, and I'm gonna walk you through the 5 biggest mistakes I watch people make when they move to Orlando, so you don't have to learn from any of them the hard way. Stick around to the end because the 5th one is one that quietly wrecks more budgets than anything else on this list. Mistake number 1, buying a home in Orlando and only looking at the mortgage payment. This is a big one, and it's the reason people feel house poor here even when they thought they got a great deal. When you move to Florida, the sticker price of the home is only the beginning of the story. First, there's a homeowner's insurance. Florida is the most expensive state in the entire country for it, and even though Orlando is inland and much cheaper than the coast, you're still looking at roughly $2,000 to just over $4,000 a year for the typical metro home. And here's the detail that catches people. The age of the roof matters more than almost anything. An older home in College Park or Winter Park with the 20-year-old shingle roof can pay double what a newer home in Lake Nona pays for the exact same coverage, because the newer home has a hip roof and impact windows and stacks all of these wind mitigation credits. On top of insurance, you've got property taxes running a little under 1% of the value. And then in a lot of communities, you've got HOA fees, and this one next is the killer, CDD fees. A CDD is a community development district. It's a bond that paid for the roads and the infrastructure in a lot of these newer master plan communities, and it does not show up as a monthly bill. It's buried in your annual property tax statement. In Orlando, CDD fees commonly run $1,000 to $3,500 a year, and in fancier communities, they push towards $5,000 per year. So my advice is simple. Before you fall in love with any house, especially new construction, make me or your agent pull the actual tax bill and look for the CDD line. And never ever trust the builder's payment calculator, because it almost never shows you the CDD. The house was never the problem, the carrying costs are. Mistake number 2, underestimating the tolls and the traffic. People move here picturing sunshine and theme parks, and then they get their first SunPass statement and their jaws hit the floor. Orlando is built around Interstate 4, which by the way has been ranked one of the most dangerous highways in America, and then wrapped in the web of toll roads, the 408, the 417, the 429, and the 528. Over 125 miles of toll expressway. If your daily commute puts you on the 417 or the 429 every morning and every evening, you can easily spend $100, $200 a month just in tolls, and nobody budgets for that. So my recommendation, get an e-pass transponder, because it saves you about 30 cents versus paying cash. But more importantly, before you buy a house, drive your actual commute at 5 o'clock on a weekday, not 11 o'clock on a Sunday when the roads are empty. The Sunday drive is a fantasy. Where you buy in Orlando is a commute decision and the toll decision, not just a price decision. Real quick, if this is already saving you some headaches, do me a favor and hit subscribe, because I make videos like this to help people move to Orlando the smart way. And if you want to talk through your specific situation, my contact information is in the description down below. Reach out anytime. This is literally my job. Mistake number 3, accidentally buying in the tourist corridor. Now, 75 million people visit Orlando every single year. It is the most visited destination in the entire country, and the tourism is genuinely great for the economy and for jobs. But you do not want to live in the middle of all of that. There are certain zones, and I'm talking about International Drive, the area right around Disney and Universal exits off I-4, parts of the 192 down in Kissimmee, where the traffic is just relentless, especially on weekdays and holidays. Your quick run to the grocery store turns into a bumper-to-bumper crawl behind rental cars full of people who have no idea where they're going. Here's the honest truth, and a lot of relocation families see a shiny listing near the parks and they get excited because it feels like a permanent vacation, and then 6 months in, they're exhausted by the daily grind of it. The locals who live here live a little outside those zones in Winter Park and Baldwin Park and the Ovitos, and they visit the tourist areas on their own terms. So enjoy the parks, just don't buy your forever home 800 yards from the theme park exit. Mistake number 4, assuming flood zones are only a coastal problem. This one surprises everybody, but think, I'm moving to inland Orlando. I'm 50 miles from the ocean. I don't need to worry about flooding. This is a dangerous assumption. Orange County has roughly 26,000 structures sitting inside special flood hazard areas, and not one of them faces the ocean. Your standard homeowner insurance covers 0 flood damage. 0. That's a completely separate policy. And here's where it gets real. The flood premium is set by the special flood zone your house sits in, not by the neighborhood's reputation. A newer home in Lake Nona in a low-risk zone might pay under $500 a year, but an older home sitting right on a lake, like parts of Lake Conway, has seen flood premiums clear $5,000 a year. 2 houses in the same community can be a completely different zone. So the move is simple. Take 15 minutes before you second a showing, pull the FEMA flood maps for the exact address, and get a flood quote before your inspection period ends. That one check has saved buyers thousands of dollars a year on homes they were about to buy. And that brings me to mistake number 5, the one that quietly wrecks most budgets: not getting a real insurance quote before your inspection deadline and picking the wrong school zone. Let me take these together because they're both about doing your homework before it's too late. On insurance, I watched deals fall apart at the closing table because a buyer budgeted $1,500 a year like they paid up north, and the real Florida quote came back at $4,000. You have got to get an actual quote on the specific house during your inspection window while you can still walk away, not a guess. And the schools, this is huge huge for families. Orlando is split across different counties and they are not the same. Seminole County up north in places like Oviedo or Lake Mary has one of the top rated school districts in the entire state. Orange County has fantastic schools and some weaker ones depending on the exact zone. Osceola County is again different, and here's the trap. A home can be zoned for a great elementary school and a mediocre middle school on the very same street. So my advice, do not assume. Check the specific school zone for a specific address, because in Florida, your school zone is baked right into your home's value and your kid's experience. So those are the 5. Only looking at the mortgage instead of the true cost of ownership, underestimating tolls and traffic, buying in the tourist corridor, ignoring flood zones, and skipping your insurance and school zone homework. Avoid those 5 and you're already ahead of most people who move here. Now, if you want to go deeper on where you should actually live, go watch my video on the best place to live in Orlando next. It pairs perfectly with this one and it'll help you narrow down your search. And when you're actually ready to make the move, reach out to me directly. My info's in the description down below. I'll send you my free Orlando relocation guide that breaks down neighborhoods, the school zones, and the real cost of living here, so you can move here with your eyes wide open. Now, I'll see you on the next one.